Okay, looks like we are live and ready to go. Hey, all right, yeah. So I've been told that apparently it usually cuts off when I start talking. So I usually try to give it like 20 seconds just to make sure. Also, I went ahead and changed some cables out. So I know some of you guys in, I think, like Italy, Poland, Australia, it's had like a bit of a buffering issue for the last, I don't know, couple weeks since I changed my internet. Let me know if you see that on the future streams. Hopefully maybe with this cable it'll be a bit better. If not, then heck, maybe I'll have to call and complain. I don't know. But it should be better. At least that's what I'm hoping. Or at least more stable of a connection. Let's see. How is everybody doing? It's Wednesday where I am, probably Thursday for some of you other guys. But yeah, as you probably guess, Ezra Tech Tips is back now. I don't know what I'm doing. Gosh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so as you guess from the title, this is just gonna be a quick update. So no game today. I'm really getting ready for... Actually, I don't know if I've said this. I think I mentioned it in a couple streams, but I need to go ahead and make an announcement. So, Resident Evil 8 The Village, I believe, is coming out, or at least like fully releasing. I thought it was on the 9th. I was wrong. It's on the 7th. So I'm ready to ready to go a lot, sooner than I had anticipated. I'm gonna be doing something special for that release. Two things special. The second thing is a surprise, but the first thing I can mention, I went ahead and bit the bullet, and I'm paying for Streamlabs Prime. It's gonna allow me to multi-stream both to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Now, why would you want to watch me on Twitch? I don't know yet. Technically, I'm not an affiliate, I think is the term. There's partner and affiliate. Partner's more serious, and affiliate is like less serious. But I don't think you can use like special emotes and stuff until you get to a affiliate. So it's gonna take some work to unlock that. I don't think I want to go partner, because if I'm not mistaken, partner, you're not allowed to stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So hopefully this will get more eyes on, and I've got like a little chat bot that will display comments whether or not they're chatting on YouTube or Twitch in the video. So no matter where anybody is, they still get seen. So, oh no, you got exams tomorrow. I'm so sorry to hear that. But YouTube is better. True. But I think what it's going to do is it's going to get a bit more of an eyes on me, you know what I mean? And the good news is I don't have to like stop streaming on YouTube to also stream on Twitch. So all I have to do is like fork over like $20 a month, and then I get those options opened up. Plus, I went ahead and commissioned some really nice things that I can use on Twitch as well. So that, emotes and stuff. I think technically I can use them on YouTube too. People tell me that YouTube has custom emotes. I've never seen them. But maybe I should figure that out, because I already have them. I just can't use them yet because I'm not affiliated. To get affiliated, I have to... Let's see, yeah. I have at least 50 followers over the last 30 days. Broadcast minutes need to be 500 minutes or more. I think that's in a month. You need to 7 unique broadcast days and an average of 3 more concurrent viewers. I think I could probably hit that in the coming month. We'll see. I mean, if not, it just resets and I can try again next month. But it's mostly going to be to start funneling people in a little bit more without me having to do any extra work. Heimdall music. Yeah, that's an old game. I'm always worried about copyright, so I try to look for these really obscure, like Genesis, Amiga games, etc. It's crazy that somebody recognized it. That's really cool, Void. Let's see. What else was it? Yeah, there's also going to be a surprise with the Resident Evil 8 release, the one that I can't talk about. I hope it'll be fun. If you had fun during the April Fool's Day thing, you might have fun here. Let's see. What are we playing today? Oh my god, no, I'm so sorry, there's no game. This is, I tried to title it so that nobody would, channel updates and developments, yeah, and I didn't, yeah, sorry if you got misled. I'm so sorry, Deku. Let's see. There's something else I was gonna say for sure. You kept wondering why you didn't get notifications for your streams until you saw you wasn't subscribed. Maybe you were and YouTube unsubscribed you. I've heard of that happening, but I don't know, man. I don't know. God bless Amiga, your first ever game system. Amiga's got some amazing music on a lot of those games. It's really really pretty cool. If you're ever looking for anything in the background, there's like Amiga compilations. So really, really neat. I'm playing the chatting game. Yeah, I'm doing just chatting. There's no hot tub. Sorry. I know, actually, be thankful for that. There's no hot tub, but this is just a just chatting stream. It'll probably be over in like another 5-10 minutes. I mean, if anybody's got any questions or wants to talk, usually I used to hang around after the end of games and talk, but my streams just kept getting longer and longer. So at the end, I'm like, okay, my IQ is it's rock bottom. I can't communicate anymore. So I would just bounce. Let's see. The surprise is that you're the model who inspired the really tall woman in Resident Evil. You're actually 3 meters tall. I don't know what meters are, but thank you. No, I'm not that tall. I'm actually frightfully small in real life is the thing. But, yeah, she's probably, speaking of the tall lady, she's probably going to be stepping on us very, very soon. Let's see. There was one other thing. I was like, oh, whatever you do, make sure you mention this and don't forget. And I didn't write it on my sticky note. Oh, God, yeah, okay. Important. So, the name of the channel. So you guys know how I've touched on this earlier, but I'll go ahead and touch on it here since this is an update for the future of the channel. So remember how my avatar was like Kyrie from Junji Ito's horror manga Uzumaki? The reason for that, for it being there for 6 years is that it was originally a temporary one. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make like a personality, or like maybe not a personality, but like like a piece of art that kind of like reflects the face of the channel. I don't really show my face on there out of, sheer paranoia, but at the very least I can do like a little mascot. And, 6 years later, I finally got around to it, which is, the little ghosty character you see in the bonfire. So finally I've got an original one, and I don't have to feel bad about stealing poor Junji Ito's. But same thing with the name. If you notice the name, people ask me sometimes, stay calm, learn the metric system. I think we learned it in Guns, but aside from that, man, you have to tell me how many hamburgers tall I am. That's the only way I'll understand. Yeah, so a lot of people ask me, what does cursory mean? Like the stay calm is pretty self-evident, but the cursory, that was back when I was making my channel when I was a little baby. I was like, okay, get ready for another project, quote unquote project. You can't see my hands. But get ready for a quote-unquote project that is just going to go nowhere. The latest thing that I tried to dip my hands into and then just, moved on to something else. That's, what kind of cursory means. It's very haphazard. It's very shallow. It's, it doesn't have any real lasting power. So it was kind of like an inside joke about myself. It's like, okay, this isn't going to last. You're going to try this out and then you're not going to do very well and then you're going to give up like everything else. But I'm still here after like 5-6 years, so that's new. Miles and hamburgers only. Yeah, exactly. Big Macs per football field. You miss Kyrie a bit, but yeah, I miss her too. But at the end of the day, technically, I didn't own her, and it's like that's why I never really drew her in any thumbnails, and I would always just have like a completely new face, new hair, new style for character and all the thumbnails. This will give me some stability at least and have a recognizable face. But man, Junji Ito does draw women really well. I mean, one woman really well, but yeah. Well, I guess Tomi looks different than the usual template, but yeah. So I'm thinking of changing it from cursory because it was always meant to be like a placeholder that I changed, and then I never really got to I never really thought of something better to use. I've thought of something better recently. A few of you know what it is. I've sent it to you, and I'm like, listen, how bad does this sound? How bad is it? And people seem to like it. Fair enough. I haven't gotten any like negative feedback on it, or maybe people are just being nice. But I guess I can finally move on from the cursory thing. I mean, I'm here for 6 years. I wouldn't say regular, but I'm still streaming even till today. So maybe I've graduated past the cursory forecast. Or maybe once I change it, then the cursory forecast jinx will come true, and I won't be streaming much anymore. Maybe I should read a scary story after this, because we're at the tail end of the announcements. I know there's a big one I'm still forgetting to miss, and as soon as I turn off the stream, I'll be like, no, I forgot to... Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Let's see. We need a female creepypasta reader. I'm sure most of us frequent Mr. Creep a lot, don't we? Oh, yeah. Man, I miss creepypasta. They just don't seem to be as prevalent as they were. And part of me wonders, were they really a fad? Is that what that was? Because they weren't a fad to me. I'm still pretty pretty in love with them. At the very least, I do try to read like little short horror stories. You know, the quality may vary. I certainly don't vet them before I open them up and read them, other than looking at the page number. But let's see. Stay calm, permanent. You got it. You guessed it. The end of an era. I mean, I'll probably. What's wrong with cursory? I was just when I chose it, it was a stupid in joke to myself. It's like naming your username or your channel. You know, like I'm gonna forget to upload on this channel forever in a couple days and that kind of thing. Or like I'll forget the password to this. It's like a forecast of how it'll go. Why not some creepypastas then? Huh? Yeah, you're right. I'll read some creepypastas out. If you guys think of a good creepypasta you want me to read, hopefully one I can read in 10 to 15 minutes. If it looks longer than that, I'll probably have to give it a miss. Otherwise, if nobody can think of one, I'll just grab my handy dandy Gravedigger book and pull up a short story from there. Let's see. Creepypasta replaced creepypastas. I think, copy pastas. Yeah, it was copy paste, then copy pastas, and then creepy pastas for the scary ones. Let's see. Can you just read every line that G-Men has ever said? I think at some point we're going to read the entire script to be a movie, whatever B-Day is. So keep that in mind. We're just going to do like a live Discord voice chat reading of it. It's going to be... I wouldn't show up for that one. It's going to be painful. Don't come there unless you want to suffer. Maybe I'll call it the suffer stream. Let's see. Creepypasta stopped being creepy. Yeah, I think it went through what a lot of, explosions in genres do, is where every good idea, or most of the good ideas, get taken, and then it, gets flooded with maybe a bunch of kids that are, just experimenting or playing around, or, it turns into who's going to be the next creepypasta idol, like Smiling Jack, or whatever that guy's name was, or Slenderman, so that kind of thing. So it probably suffered from... overdoing it. And that's what happens anytime something gets popular. It gets flooded with a bunch of people who are there, and then over time those people move on to something else, and they leave it in its wake, and whether or not it returns to being niche or dies is up to the thing. Copypastas are worse, scarier than creepypastas. Let's see. Faraming. Yeah, he does have a point. Let's see. You missed the 2012 YouTube where everybody was playing horror games. Yeah, I guess that turned out to be a fan too. That's really how I ended up getting, that's what inspired me to make my YouTube channel. It was watching people like Cry and PewDiePie and Markiplier. It really was a different time in 2012, huh? I kind of miss it. It just seemed a lot better. But then again, maybe that's just the nostalgia glasses. Who knows? Shrek is love, Shrek is life. No. Let's see. The big amount of bad creepypastas make it hard to find the good hidden gems. Yeah, the diamond in the rough, right? So you gotta like field through 10 just to find one where you're like, yeah, that's pretty good. I think there were Reddits that were dedicated to that though. So something to consider. Shame about Cryatic though? Yeah. I at this point, I'm afraid to think positively or say, oh, that's a really cool YouTuber. I'm afraid to do that for any YouTuber now. Seems like there's no more heroes. You started your channel back when you were in college, right? Yep, way back when. I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it, and I will play Hell Knight, and it's going to be really cool, and I'm going to show all these people that are looking for a fun time all these really cool, obscure horror games, like from the PS1 era and from like Japan and stuff. And then, I did eventually play Hell Knight, so that was very cathartic, because I'd been meaning to do that for years. Let's see. What happened to that live 2D model that you used for the Tamagotchi game? I mean, I've still got it. It's custom made. I could use it one of these other days. It was mostly just kind of a silly gimmick for the Tamagotchi thing. But if you want to see more of that kind of stuff, I would stay tuned I would stay tuned. Let's see. In your opinion, it was more comfy, more familial. Yeah. Oh, okay, so some good Reddits here. No Sleep and Short Scary Stories. Maybe I'll check that Reddit. Alright. Play more Puppet Combo games. Oh my god, I have to finish that bunny one. Alright, maybe I'll do it... no, tomorrow I gotta do a test stream just to make sure I can stream to Twitch and, YouTube and have everything go smoothly before the actual launch of Resident Evil 8, so I might be busy test streaming stuff. We'll see, we'll see. Husbanding you think of Cursor as your name, not just a fleeting thing. It'd be a little odd calling you something else. Maybe a change will be good. Yeah, that's one thing I worry about. Like, people have been like, oh wait, Cursory, you've been Cursory for 6 years. True. And that's like the one thing that I hesitate with on my end about that. Well, we'll give it a little try. I mean, worst case, I can always revert back. We'll see. Let's see. Puppet Combo has some Patreon exclusive games. That's right. Okay, alright, well tell you what, would still love to see more Sexy Brutal. Yeah, I own that game on Steam. That's definitely one to play too. And here's the good, this is the other thing I was meaning to say. That's right, thank God I finally remembered. I'm gonna try to do more long-form streaming content, maybe just on Twitch. Like, as in, like, I'm like, hey, I've got some free time. Maybe I'll just throw on Twitch and just play something, and it doesn't necessarily have to have any rhyme or reason, but just like stuff I've been meaning to do. And of course, the VODs would go to YouTube. I mean, I'm thinking of just multi-streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time regularly, but I also don't want to freak anybody out on YouTube if they just start getting random streams, Whereas Twitch is like, it's like cable, like there's no recording it or saving it. It just happens, and then once it's over, it's done for. Whereas YouTube, you stream and then it just immediately saves your entire stream archive, recorded as a video. So I don't know, we'll see what people think. I could go either way on that. Alright. Let's see. Maybe you should play Resident Evil 7 before you play Resident Evil 8 so you could be caught up on one of the stories. Doesn't Resident Evil 8 take place, like... I thought it took place, like, far in the past. Maybe that's just the architecture that made me think of that. But either way, unfortunately, I don't believe I'll have time to play Resident Evil 7 within, like, 48 hours. Also, that game almost killed me. If you watch me play the demo, I was so messed up. I was so messed up in that demo that I said, okay, I found these buttons. I did all this extra stuff to find a secret. I'll come back to these buttons in a second. And then when I saw the front door, I lost my mind and made a break for it, and I completely forgot about it. That's such a shameful demo. My God. I think that's like the worst I've ever been scared in a game in the channel, like, to date. No, the main character of Resident Evil 7 is the main character. Oh, really? That guy's having some hard luck, I guess. Let's see. RE7 is a great game until the boat. Is it? They post a link to the... hang on on that. Just for a little bit. Just for a teensy little bit. Let's see. Alright. So tell you what, if anybody has any good stories, very short creepypastas, go ahead and post them, and then I'll Google them and start reading it. I'm gonna get up, get some water, and then I'll come back with my little book of horror short stories, and we'll pick either the creepypasta or the horror short story. So this will be a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll read for about 20 minutes, and then that'll be the stream. So I guess the updates are all done. I do have some crazy stories. I went to a Taco Bell / KFC yesterday to try out the chicken burger, and I ended up having to stay there and give a police statement because a bunch of crazy stuff happened while I was there. But maybe I'll save that story for another time. So it was a big day yesterday on May 4th. I wanted to do something, but I also had a dentist appointment earlier in that day, so I didn't have much of a choice. My dentist was dressed as Darth Vader, though. He told me to call him Doc Vader, and it was just insane. So, all right, I'll be right back. I'll get some water. I'll see you guys in like 3 minutes. I'll put on the little loading icon so you know I'll be back in like a minute. Okay, I've actually got some really good ones, and they're pretty short, all things considered, so we may even be able to do more than one if we end up going this way. Let's see. Okay, so I have here 51 Sleepless Nights by Tobias Wade, and I guess maybe it's 51 horror stories is what it is. If you do like the stories, I'll only read like one or two, so that way there's tons and tons of more stories that you can, patronize the author with and purchase the book for yourself. But here's some of the stories it looks like we have a choice of. Let's see. Okay, we've got Virtual Terror, The Angel Doll, The Power of a Small City, Killer Selfie, let's see, Children Collector, Mother is Back, Who Wrote the Suicide Note. So we've got a lot of promising sounding titles. Any of those ring anybody's bell? You wish they made a remake of Code Veronica? Yeah, that's what I never hear anybody talk about, but the people who do mention it seem to really speak highly of it. The music is bopping. I'm glad it's cool. Let's see. Angel Doll sounds cool. Oh, seems like people like Angel Doll. Alright, tell you what, we'll do Angel Doll. Seems like that's the one everybody's asking about. Alright, let me go ahead and change the music to a slightly more horror playlist. That ain't right. Hang on. I moved around my playlists recently. There we go. I really need to get more really ambient, chill horror tracks for scary story reading, but it's really hard because whenever you look for horror music, it's usually really tense or really loud or really, not really fun to listen to. It's so hard to find like Silent Hill-esque tracks. Not the Nightmare tracks, but the, Dino Crisis would be the real deal. That's definitely something we'll have to play. There's all these. That's the problem. I've always wanted to play all these games, but the problem is me streaming like 2 nights out of the week just isn't gonna cut it. I need to be streaming every single day, and I hope that's what the push to Twitch for me is gonna do, because then I could just pop on and stream whatever. So that's something to think. Play some Tupac to set the mood. Okay, do you have a link to your music playlist? For today, it's going to be, it's just tracks from the game Glass Rose, which is another game I'm just going to have to play for sure. Let's see. Can you post the Twitch channel link? Nah, I would actually hold off on that for now. When the game comes out, they'll say, hey, listen, come to, I'll probably make a community post and a Discord post and ask people, like, if you guys don't care which one you're on, then I would say, go to Twitch if you can, just to help me complete that little, I have to have a certain number of people watching to unlock the emotes and stuff. But if, most people prefer YouTube, including me, so I can't blame anyone if no one goes over there. Okay, alright. Shoot, Miss Kitten's made me a really nice image for reading scary stories. It's like a, spooky, scary trees and mist and stuff. But ever since I wrecked all my profiles of OBS, I don't have it anymore. But I've got it on my computer. I'll just have to redo it all. Dang. Okay, here we go. This story is called Angel Doll. And it's by... Let me read the author's name one more time. Tobias Wade. And again, I haven't vetted these, so don't blame me, okay? Let's see. Love your vids, thanks. Thank you so much, Ryushu. Oh, wait, no, Ryushutsu. There we go. Have you played The Evil Within? I played one little part of it, and then I was too scared to ever come out of the locker at the beginning. Maybe I'll replay it. I hear it's got like a sequel and stuff. Okay, here we go. The Angel Doll. Run away or you will die tonight. That's what I heard from beside me at 2 a.m. "What did you say?" I asked my husband. He didn't answer. Good, then it wasn't important. I had to use the bathroom anyway, but nestled under a down comforter with our tabby cat Meeps snuggled between us, and it made me seriously consider my options. Wet the bed? Too sticky. Excavate myself from the pile of blankets and face the cold, hard bathroom tiles? Please no. Hold it in and develop a weak bladder? We were all going to get old and fall apart someday anyway. I had no intention of getting out of that bed for anything short of a nuclear strike. Just when I started flirting with the other side of consciousness, though, I heard it again. "Run away, or you will die tonight." "Wake up, Jordan. I'm having a bad dream." I sat up and shook my husband's shoulder. He grunted and half-heartedly pushed my hand away. That should do the trick, but as long as I was up. I uprooted Meeps and climbed out of the bed. He gave me that "how dare you, peasant" expression that all cats have mastered without parallel. I was halfway to the bathroom and wondering if I could teach myself to piss while sleepwalking when, "Run away or—" I stopped and rubbed my eyes. That wasn't my husband's voice. It wasn't coming from my bed at all. That was unmistakably from inside my closet. Don't get me wrong, I'm a strong, independent woman. I kill my own spiders and everything, but there's no decent-minded person anywhere who could hear that without screaming bloody murder. It wasn't really a scream, more of a, "What the thunder-flicking fuck was that?" But it was loud enough to get Jordan on his feet in a second. It was so cute how protective he was of me. My father never approved of him because Jordan had a cocaine trouble as a teenager, but to me he had always been the perfect man. "What's going on? Are you all right?" Jordan asked. "There's someone here," I replied with the same wide-eyed sincerity a 4-year-old might muster regarding the monster under her bed. "Honey, come back to bed. There isn't anyone—" "Run away, or you will die tonight." "There!" I said. "It's coming from the closet." I didn't hear anything. "Check it for me, please, please." I gave him my best impersonation of a desperate puppy. He sighed and headed for the door. Don't. I changed my mind," I said. "There's a murderer inside." "I wouldn't worry," he replied. "It's probably just my laptop randomly unpausing a video or something. Besides, if it was a murderer, he'd just kill us in our sleep." Real reassuring. Thanks. Jordan opened the door, but his body was blocking my view. I hopped around on my toes to peer over his shoulder. My doll, my angel doll, the one I'd had since I was a baby, was lying on the ground. I rushed to pick her up, reverently cradling her and completely forgetting about the monster for a moment. She wasn't really an angel, just a Raggedy Ann doll with little cloth wings sewn on her back. But she was mine, and the same way as my hair was brown or my skin was fair, she was part of me. "Well, there's nothing in here, so I'm going back to bed," Jordan said, slumping off across the floor. "What do you think knocked her off the shelf, though?" I asked. "And look, her stomach is all ripped open." "I'll call a doctor in the morning. Good night." He was already consumed by the indistinguishable blanket blob. I sat there on the floor, holding my doll. We were inseparable when I was a kid. This doll had endured everything, including a part-time gig as a bulldog's chew toy and the lead investigator of a vacuum's inside. She had been ripped, stained, shredded, and impaled a dozen odd times, and Dad had always been able to fix her for me before. Of course, now that he was gone, I would have to learn to fix it myself, but that was okay. When I have a kid of my own, they'll probably need me to fix it for them too. I gently poked the leaking fluff back into the doll's chest cavity and... Shit snacks! Something stung my finger, prompting its quick passage to my mouth. Was something in there? I opened the doll a little further, careful not to lose any of the precious stuffing, and pulled out a tightly folded sheet of paper. I recognized the handwriting immediately. Dear Emily. Emily? Dear Emily. It was the same handwriting with the same loopy D I had seen every year on my birthday card. Every year except this one, anyway. I sat cross-legged on the floor, and Meeps wriggled her way into my lap while I read my father's secret letter. Dear Emily. The telling of an adventure becomes an adventure in itself. Fantasies will unburden your spirit from the constraints of reality, and horror is as thrilling for the author as it is for the reader. But my story is not so easily told. Every time I try to bleed my memories free, I am frozen with helpless shame and guilt. The events of my youth have haunted me throughout my life, and I fear I will not go quietly unto death until I have found peace in their recounting. I hope you will forgive me for inscribing my story in verse. It is the only way I know how to distance myself from the pain and turn the tragedy of my life into something beautiful. I hope, before the end of your days, you too will find a way to burn your darkness with such brilliant fire as to illuminate the way for others. Forever yours, Dad. Sorry, hang on. This is going to be a long one. It should be said, right at the start, all happy families are the same. For joys are shared in equal parts, though misery is unique in blame. It comes in many varied forms, but you will know it when it's seen. When the perfect mask is torn and sundered at the seams, so it was when I was young, a son first and child after. Playing with father was endless fun, and every shared moment laughter. I learned how to view the world from astride my father's knee, and when the night left me curled, his stories would bring sleep. But life is heavier for some than others, and it pressed hard upon this man. A war waged between him and my mother. He stopped trying and simply ran. I was left to wondering where my father went at night. Then home late with blundering, too much drink had made him fight. One night the drink brought a rage that I had never seen before. The beatings could not be assuaged? It must be assuaged because it rhymes with rage, sorry. So out I fled through kitchen door. I wandered the streets very late, hiding from that awful noise, not knowing it was my fate to find salvation in a toy. Tossed upon garbage and refuse, the broken doll of an angel lay. It was worn deep from overuse, but I still took her home to play. When the violence was lit by booze, I held it to keep my fears at bay. Then finally, when came a truce, I would thank her when I prayed. The quiet never lasted, nor the peace, and I kept the doll close beside. Once I was too bruised to sleep, and waited instead to finally die. Instead, the doll began to speak, telling me that I was safe, that even when the world was bleak, I must trust the doll with faith. The doll offered more than reality and proved my great escape. It would sing tales of fantasy, of villains, heroes and their capes, beasts and monsters with their fangs, of highwaymen and roaming gangs who were locked up tight with a clang, prevailing justice when she sang. Since then, we never parted ways. Where I went, the doll followed after. She sat beside me when I played, or sheltered me in the attic rafters. The doll peeked from my bag at school. The other children laughed, I know, but I didn't mind the jeering fools who didn't know how to take a blow. I wish my mother had a doll to take away her pain, to free her back against the wall and cease the falling of the cane. I offered the angel doll to her, but she insisted that I keep, saying it was too late to deter the wounds which cut too deep. One night, her screaming wouldn't end, and I offered up a solemn plea that even this hurt would mend. I begged the angel answer me. No comfort now, like in the past. The doll offered this foresight. "Run away," she said at last, "or you will die tonight." I stopped reading. I was so tired I had completely forgotten about what made me get out of bed in the first place. I stared at the coarse face with its black sewn-on buttons and flame of red hair. It was just a doll, the same doll it had always been. "Jordan?" My voice was timid. I shouldn't wake him up again. It was stupid to think. "Yeah? Do you trust me?" "Of course, honey. What are you still doing up?" "I want to get out of the house now." The pile of blankets slouched aside, and he sat up to stare at me. He looked at the letter in my hands, then nodded. He put on his robe and handed me mine, and we walked out the front door in silence. "Where are we going?" Away, I said. Can you drive? It was like he could sense when something was important to me. He smiled and nodded. We didn't need words. I hopped into the passenger seat and flipped on the reading light to finish the letter while we drove. Run away, she said at last, or you will die tonight. I grew angry and yelled louder, but no other sound came out her. I flung her from my window seat out of the house into the street, telling her she was no good, if the angel no longer could speak and tell me calming tales, drowning out the fighting wails. Mother was in pain, a bestial yelp. Through the thin-walled home, I couldn't face my fear and help. I couldn't bear the sound alone. I ran until I was out of breath, far away from here. I didn't care if I met my death. I willed to disappear. Snow and bitter winds cut in, probing through my jacket thin. I leaned against a tree to rest, yet dared not chance to sleep unless I would waken to find myself alone in the world with no one else, or waken not, stiff frozen skin, a tribute to what might have been. I wish I hadn't thrown the doll away when I needed her the most. It wasn't her fault, she had to say, that death was flying close. The morning found my mother dead, as the doll that I once found, forsaken and thrown on garbage bed, a trash heap burial mound. For many years, a lost Raggedy Ann, my doll must have searched the earth, until she found not a boy but a man, and his lady who was giving birth. I had run so far from life that I had found a life anew. The doll gazed upon my beautiful wife, and the child who now grew. The angel doll lay down softly, knowing her part had been played. The boy was gone, and though missed awfully, time's direction could not be swayed. I found her there against hospital door, still and quiet as the dead. I scooped her up and to her swore to fix her tattered threads. By my word, she was cured of the ills this world had shown. My baby girl, brought in the world, was gifted with a doll newly sewn. I will never make the mistakes that drove my mother to her grave, and the doll will never lie awake to take away your pain. I was in tears by the time I finished. Dad would have been 58 on the 1st of May. Jordan kept giving me these nervous glances, but he was respectful and didn't pry. How much further, you think? Is all he asked. There's a motel up ahead. Want to spend the night there? I hope they took the cat. That wasn't part of the book. These weren't pretty tears. They were big, snotty, sloppy globs. I was too choked up to answer, but he pulled into the parking lot anyway. He understood me so well, it was like he was made for me. I held the doll while I fell asleep in the motel. I knew I owed Jordan big for this. I felt so stupid for dragging us out here, but the letter and my cry had been cathartic, and I was so tired that I felt oddly at peace. It was the best I'd felt since the funeral, and who knows, maybe some freak tornado will hit the house and I'll know some part of Dad really is still out there watching over. Run away, or you will die tonight. It came from the doll, a small voice like a child who was afraid of being caught. I already did run away. I felt too guilty to wake Jordan up again after all this, so I whispered the reply. Not far enough. He's still with you, she replied. I couldn't see the doll's mouth moving or anything, but there was nothing else which could have been talking to me. I looked over at Jordan's harmless sleeping body. Was I really going to trust a phantom voice over my husband, who I've known and loved for years? But it wasn't just any voice. Somehow it was my father trying to reach me, and him I would trust till the ends of the earth. I took the doll and my phone and quietly slipped out the door. I wasn't going to leave him stranded, so I took an Uber back home. And while we were driving, I wrote him a long text message thanking him for being so understanding and apologizing for my behavior. I told him how much he meant to me and that all of this was just because I was having such a hard time with Dad's passing. He was so kind that he probably wouldn't have even needed it, but it felt good to tell him anyway. I hope he got a chance to read it before he died. The next I woke, it was to the hammering of police on my front door. They informed me that my husband was found dead in his motel room with 3 bullet holes in his chest. Future investigations revealed the coke habit wasn't as ancient history as I thought. He owed a lot of money to the wrong people, and they followed our car to the motel. If it wasn't for the doll, I'd be dead too. I still think Dad was wrong about Jordan, though. I don't regret a minute of our time together. And Dad was wrong about another thing, too. The angel doll was going to have to lie awake with me for a long time before she can take away the pain. All right, and that's it. So that was Angel Doll, from one of the short stories from 51 Sleepless Nights by Tobias Wade. If you like the book and you want to read the other ones, I would recommend, purchasing it. That was a good one, not gonna lie. I know, right? That was a really good one. If anyone wants to clip that and post it somewhere, because otherwise it'd be a shame if it just got lost in like a small update video. I know most people don't really click on these unless they're like super interested in what's going on with the channel. So it would be an actual shame for that. Maybe I'll try to clip it. I don't know. If somebody clips it, give me the MP4 and I'll post it as a standalone video. Let's see. Hey, it didn't make too many mistakes while I was reading it, too. Sometimes when you make one mistake, it just, like, triggers, like, 4 separate mistakes, and I don't know why. I guess it just throws you off your game. Let's see, the story started really differently from how it ended. Yeah, the cat made it, though, so 10 out of 10. Sad out of 10. Oh, no. Let's see. Should go John Wick on him. Now she seems fine with it. She's just like, shame. Hope you got my text. Let's see. Nothing like studying with a cool horror story in the background. Yeah. Oh, and if anybody, by the way, if anybody, like, wants to ever, I don't think I've ever, like, outright said it. If anybody ever wants to, like, clip things, highlight things, re-upload things, go right ahead. I mean, you know, it's not like I'm gonna worry about losing money. The ad rates aren't that great. And if anything, it's more of a exposure thing. So if you ever, like, want to make funny videos or compilations or highlights, just, I mean, you don't even need my permission, just go and do it. How do we give you the MP4? Let's see. Well, if you just like link me to an unlisted video or something, I'll just download it through AirPlay or something. The cat. What happened to the cat? The cat was fine. The cat was not at the hotel, so I assume the drug dealers did not riddle it full of holes. So that's why she didn't go John Wick on them, because there was no cat getting shot. Yeah, so it sounds like they left the cat at the house, which in my opinion was dumb, because they left the house thinking there was danger, so why would you leave your cat there? But I guess the danger was wherever the husband was going, so that was pretty interesting. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. There's different kinds of horror. I think this one was more of a foreboding kind of thing. A little bit of supernatural, but when you think about it, the cause of death was all man-made, so... The cat shot the husband. There you go. He never forgave him for getting out of bed and just leaving him cold. What did you miss? So it was a bit of an update stream, just talking about the name of the channel, some multi-streaming I'll be doing, and how I'll be playing the second it releases. I'll be playing the new Resident Evil game, and then I read a small short story. So that's it. When's the next stream? Tomorrow I'm going to be troubleshooting, making sure I will be able to stream to YouTube and Twitch without a hitch. And then the day after that is when Resident Evil 8 launches. So I'll be, probably not tomorrow, but the day after that, we'll be playing it as soon as it comes out. Twitch link? No, not yet. So, I'll probably do a community post. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess that's it. Thanks for showing up, guys. I know it's not like a gameplay video or anything, but got to do some nice little updates and a nice little horror story. And that was the perfect length of a horror story. Not too long, not too short. It had some good scares. It had good characters. That was one of the best short horror stories I've read. All right. Well, you know what? Let me go ahead and paste the name of the book in the description so you guys can find it easier. Alright, well, in that case, thank you so much for showing up, and I hope you had fun. Water drinking stream when? Maybe we'll do it for charity at some point, but I think you die if you end up drinking too much at some point. You're glad it was a short stream with a cool horror story. You have too much to study for. Yeah, it's exam week, come to think of it. Uh, for a lot of people, it seems. You know, I wish they would have released Resident Evil later after exam week, because, you know, not a lot of people are going to be able to just buy the game, play it, or watch other people play it. But then again, I'm not the makers. Let's see, what's the new channel name gonna be? It's really close to my current one, actually. It barely changed at all, honestly. I mean, it's still 3 words even at that, so trust me, it's not gonna be too different. Yeah, getting near to June after all. Yeah, it is. By the way, have you guys noticed it's been 5 months? This year has been going for 5 months. It still feels like it's February. What the heck happened? I don't like this passage of time stuff. Alright, stay Ezra cursory. Nailed it. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you guys, probably not tomorrow. Maybe if I've still got energy after I troubleshoot everything. But yeah, definitely on the day after tomorrow. So, bye-bye.